Welcome everyone. Week 1, Lecture 4. So far we covered what is the business environment, the nature of the business environment, and external macro environment forces. Today, in this lecture, we will cover internal factors. What are they and how are they relevant to the organization operations? Internal factors are those ones that help organization deal with macro environment forces, external forces. Those forces are personal and HR, human resource, finance, marketing, research and development, and organizational research and development. And also in that level, we also take into consideration all the production internal forces, such as, for example, suppliers, intermediaries that help organization deliver the products to the market, but at the same time, in the aspects of this particular unit, deal with those macro forces. Now, let's go one by one and get a bit of a sense of what they refer to. Human resources are extremely important for the fact of choosing and hiring the best possible people for the jobs on hand. Of course, those people need to have a specific qualifications, but most importantly, they have to have a sound knowledge of how to deal with internal as well as the external issues. So hiring the people of the higher caliber, hiring the people who are willing to sacrifice their time for the organization's success, and most importantly, people who are willing to comprehensively understand the situation the organization is finding itself, and with the through the decision-making process, find the best possible solutions to deal with the external uncontrollable forces. Finances refers mainly to those banking organizations that are important for day-to-day survival of the organization. Well, not only that they're important for that side, wages, pays, suppliers, and so forth, they are there also to provide a financial backing for the businesses if they decide to expand, opening up more brick and mortar stores, opening up more production facilities, or possibly looking into the expansion into the foreign market, going overseas. Marketing activities or marketing suppliers or intermediaries in this particular case are exceptionally important in order to communicate the business decisions with the target market, as well as all other stakeholders that have interest in the organizational operations. So in that particular case, hiring external or internal, hiring the internal workforce to communicate and formulate the best communication method to inform the stakeholders and shareholders of the organization of the current operations and performance of the business. Now, when we talk about the production side of intermediaries, we're referring to those ones who are there to provide supplies for the manufacturing process, that those are the ones that provide services that are exceptionally important for success of the business, such, for example, logistical sides of that, storage services, if we are talking about the physical product, or for that matter, if we're talking about the service type of industry, those organizations that provide services that supplement the service offered by your organization. Now, in research and development section, it's not only importance of conducting the research development, but more so knowing what kind of research is required for your particular type of industry, and how that those research findings will play a role in the future performance of the organization. Just listing these intermediaries, internal intermediaries, give you a sense of the interrelation among them and the importance that they work in sync in order to help the organization not only tackle those external macro environment forces, but also make the internal operations running as smooth as possible. The internal aim of the organization is to maximize its profit. That is a common objective of most of the organization, but at the same time, from time to time, it can be, for example, to maximize its market share. With that clear idea, let's have a look at the things that organizations need to put in place to make sure that they have sufficient capability to deal with changing external forces, and that importance in setting them up based on internal factors that are also important. Now, structure of the organization needs to be assessed every couple of years. In my business, in my industry, that is common occurrence because of the aspect that in sociocultural environment, particularly demographic one, consumers often change their taste and preferences. So keeping an eye on those changes require our staff to be assessed and possibly hired, and in order to deal with the specific requirements of the target market. So what might happen that at a certain point in time we will be looking into the hiring additional staff that are specialized in certain type of cuisine and whatnot. On the other hand, what we might realize that we don't need any policies and procedures that were applied in the past due to the changing factors. Now, when I say structure itself needs to be adapted, that it might take a couple of months to do it. So it's not spontaneous change. When we're looking at the information need from the in order to achieve those objectives, we are not referring only to any particular information. We need information that is relevant for the current situation we're finding ourselves, and of course, if needed, conduct information that is needed for the further research that will expand our understanding of the changing macro environment, external forces within our industry itself. Competence of our management is extremely important, and itself this is something that companies need to spend a great deal of time in building it up and enhancing the capabilities of your management team. What it does refer is basically ability of your management team to deal with the changes that are currently taking place. So any form of upskilling your workforce is beneficial for the organization in the long term. Being for that long in the hospitality industry, I've seen many cases where the organization do spend considerable amount of time and effort and money in order to upskill their staff. Not only that they provide those additional services to the organization, but also provide a multi-skills now needed in today's business environment. Let me explain that a little bit further. According to the current research, in 10 to 15 years time, we're expecting workforce to be well trained in a few areas of business. For example, law and accounting, marketing and economics, and so forth. So you can now sense the importance of sending your managerial staff to upskill their knowledge, upskill their understanding of the business environment, and ability of them to deal not only with the current problems on hand, but with the future ones where they will provide a lot more services and capabilities for the organization, rather than us looking for other staff to deal in the areas that are emerging. Now, very similar concept applies to your workforce. So spending the great deal of time sending your staff to and management as well to additional schools, additional courses, to conferences, trade expos, and so forth, provides your organization with the skills that are priceless. Richard Branson often uses this term when it refers that money spent on staff is actually not money spent, is actually money invested. So from that point of view, it is very, very important knowing that any objective that organization sets up is very much deliverable with a strong structure, well-trained management and workforce, and they will provide you with information and research needed for your success and your objectives to be achieved. Until week 2, take care, stay safe, and thank you very much.